beautiful faces, especially when you have your video on. When you don't, I have no idea how you look. It would be nice to at least share. So glad to be here. Well, my name is Rick Reguera. I'm here with the team. I'm the president of the South Florida Agile Association. Yes, we've been here a while, 2013, and we keep going, every week. A lot of amazing learnings. So this week is really exciting because I can't wait to hear, what other people feel of what they've learned, what they've grown. So it's excited to kick that off. Neilu, you normally put that link in there. If you're there with me, Neilu, please tell me you are.
Yes, sir. Links in the chat.
Just do me a favor, just click on that link a second. You're not going to be charged to click on that link. Okay, it's not going to debit your credit card or anything like that. And then you get to our site. Please browse around. I'm doing it for the SEO. I'm trying to get more people to go. Yes. What does SEO stand for? Anybody want to know what that is? Search engine optimization, right? So it's like, how do we get more people to go to the site so that we can provide more, opportunities for people, whether it's these meetups. Again, we're charging a pretty heavy fine to join. So hopefully everyone's paid that. Marcelo, can you please advise us how much is our current cost for this? I know it changes, but what is it today?
Yeah, it changes by the brew because it's free as in beer.
Free as in beer. Okay. So that's our saying here. Maybe we should have that, in our shirt somewhere. Maybe the team is working on that. Free.
So what's the brew of the week?
There you go.
Exactly. That's what the difference is. It costs a different brew every week. This week it's IPA.
Love it. Saba, I love the shirt. Thank you for sharing that.
I didn't wear mine.
Oh, yes.
If you give me a minute, I can go get it.
She's got the globe. She's got the globe. Awesome.
It's been so chilly. I didn't wear short sleeves today.
I wore mine last week. Saba wore hers this week. Victoria, what are you doing?
I know, I'm slacking.
So just understand that is a special gift that we do for the volunteers that have been helping out for a while. So we've been doing this for a long time and helping the community. So that's the least we can do. So again, excited to have you guys part of the team. So again, as I told you earlier, you click on that link, you go to our website, you have a lot to choose from there. You have our Wednesday session that we have today. We also have a Saturday session. Saturday session is pretty exciting. We're working on building out a Spanish session. So for people that just want to speak Spanish, we've got a beginner session. We're probably going to have an intermediate as well. And then we have an advanced session. So if you're a guru and you want to challenge yourself, go to the advanced sessions. Okay. If you're just beginning, we're going to go ahead and help you out with the beginning session. Now, on top of that, we also have a session that's building up an app. So we get countless of emails, countless of phone calls. I want to get a job. But I don't have experience. And no one's willing to give me experience. Well, guess what? On Saturday, we're doing that for you. So be a part of that so you can gather that experience to get that job that will catapult you to, maybe we'll be knocking on your door, right? Never know when opportunities circulate, right? So again, thank you for participating. Any new faces out there? Do we see any new names? Saba, I always count on you for that, but I can't tell.
Yeah, I see a Carlos Roman and a Matthew Snella.
You guys want to introduce yourself? Go ahead.
Yeah, hi everybody. I came to a Saturday session about a month ago, and I was working with Marcelo on the side on some applications. What are the current applications out there? And we put together a board. It was a very nice time that we had on that Saturday. But since then, I've been totally consumed with some studies and work and stuff. So now I'm back in the game. So glad to be here. Nice to meet you.
So Carlos, you heard the earlier conversation with Godwin, right? Did you hear that?
Yes.
The tooth, the excuse about the tooth, all that little pain
I
stuff.
know.
So just
No
be aware.
excuse.
I got no excuses here. Okay. But awesome. Thanks for joining, Carlos. Who else did you say, Saba?
I think we have Matthew Snella.
Hello, that's me. I just switched from my phone to a different device, but can you all hear me? Rick, I see your head. Oh, good, excellent. Yeah, I've come to, this is probably my fourth. It's just been spread out over time, trying to keep a good work-life balance. And usually I come to these after work for myself. So I've taken about, I guess, maybe a month since the last one. And well, I just got to keep my pacing. But I'm not going to come up with any more excuses other than that. I already know the rule. I heard it. I'm not going to try. I didn't lose any body parts, so I can't say that I have to trump that. So.
It's working, Rick. It's working. They're starting to get the hint.
Oh, yeah.
You're if you miss though, you have to bring extra beer for the next time.
See?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I need to have a spreadsheet now of all the people that are new, and because I failed you miserably today. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You did good. You did good. So again, as you notice, this is a tight family here. We're very open, and this is the kind of community we're building up. So again, thank you for joining us. So with no further ado, we want to actually start. So what was today's session about? Has anybody actually looked at the website or looked at the meetup? Can anybody share what we're talking about today? What are we doing?
I'm sharing it on the screen.
Just a little hint,
Yeah.
So it should be even easier to answer.
right?
So Rick, we could present a video from one of our volunteers who committed to join today, but had an emergency. But he sent out a video sharing a great experience. How about that?
Wow.
And do they have like a toothache? Are they doing like this?
No, hopefully,
Okay.
no.
All right, go for it,
Medical
Naaman. Go ahead and share the video.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
Ready? There we go.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Buenas noches a todos.
Omar.
I do apologize for not being here with you, but I did have a prior engagement. My name is Omar, and I am one of the volunteer coaches in here in Transformation Experts team. Now, before I get on my journey, I guess every journey has a start. And my start was with a safe Scrum Master class. And my instructor that day was Regina. From that day on, I would say that like many here who have joined this team have got hooked. And got hooked because of the livelihood of the way that the classes are given. That Latin love, that Latin heat that Rick mentions, it was there. Regina is a great instructor, and from that point on, I have stayed taking classes with Transformation Experts team. I do have to say that now I am a convert, and I am a full Kanban enthusiast and definitely practitioner. And for that, I have to thank my great mentor and definitely great teacher, Marcelo. But like many of those who are here with you tonight, this journey also started with joining the meetups and participating in them. I was pretty much every day that there was a meeting, I was here, and I was very vocal. I did voice my opinion. I did participate and say how I manage things. But after my participation, I did see that some members or senior coaches did see that I was interested. And there I got my challenge from Rick. And for those who know Rick for a while, know that he loves to challenge people. And he challenged me. And I remember that conversation. He says, "So, are you ready? Do you think you can lead a session?" And I said, "No, I am not ready. I don't feel ready. And if you want me to do this, just throw me in the lion's den and I'll see if I either, like the gladiator, survive or die trying." And it went well. But there I got my first lesson in this journey. Challenge yourself. Whether you believe you're ready or not, just have somebody, if somebody gives you that push, they probably see something in you that you don't. And I'm glad I took that challenge. And due to that challenge, something great was born, and it's called Somos Agile. Now, we're on a little brief hiatus, but nonetheless, something was formed. And a group of people within the Spanish-speaking community formed a team and a group of which we're still working on and still want to keep on growing. Yet that was something great that came out of that journey. Now, within this continued journey, I am seeing that I've been able to not only keep on learning and making sure that when I meet with somebody, I give them valuable information, not just textbook, because anybody can give a textbook definition, but valuable information that can help people not only see other viewpoints, but can understand that there's multiple ways of solving a problem. 4 plus 5 is 9, but so is 6 plus 3. So it doesn't mean you're wrong. Maybe you can try something different, and that will take you to a new way of seeing things. Now, among this journey, I would say that the experience has been rewarding. There have been times in which I would say it has been intense, but at the end, you see it all pay off. I have made not only great acquaintances, I would say I have made friends, and I have gained mentors. I have even gained the support of team members on these calls and off these calls. And I would say that the greatest gift of all, I got in the mail this morning. And it's a gift because it is, but I do play sports and I've been part of many teams. But this one hit home today. And I'm glad to be part of this team. And I'm glad to say that whoever I'm helped, thank you for believing in me and for trusting me. But I have to give thanks to the senior coaches for also putting their trust in myself and helping me see that I can do this. So, Rick, Regina, Marcelo, Leon, Reynaldo, Art, thank you. And to my junior coaches who are awesome beyond any measure. And I don't want to say names because I would want to make sure I don't forget anybody. So you guys know who you are, and I love working with you guys. So thank you guys. Thank you for your words of support, your help through the days. And I don't want to end this without saying thank you to a very special team who's always in the back end, but is always there. And I will say this in Spanish. So, Nilu, Natalia, Jesús, Algi, Alfonso. Ustedes son los mejores. Y gracias a ustedes también sigo siendo parte de este equipo. Así que ustedes se merecen tanta felicitación y tanto aplauso como las demás personas que están aquí. So thank you for everything. Good night, everybody. And I'm here to help as much as I can.
How do
Wow.
you follow
Wow.
that?
I think I'm gonna cry.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's no following that.
Is there crying in Agile?
There's no crying in Agile.
Oh, no, there's crying today. There's crying today.
Uh,
I think he said Nelu
all right,
some food.
just this
Is that
once,
what
I
he
guess.
Yes. Wow. I think Rick got emotional. Rick has no words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm muted.
Can I ask a
Oh my
question?
Victoria, hand the
Wait,
man a tissue.
Godwin
I
wants
know,
to say
right?
something, guys. Godwin, go for it.
Yeah, I think the last thing he said was that Nelu was all food. Is that what he said?
Nelu is what? Nelu
what?
has
Sorry?
food? Nelu has food?
Nelu is showing us lunch or something like that. Is that what he
Yeah,
said?
that's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said.
Okay. Just
I think
wanted
I
to
heard
find
that.
out.
But he's in Puerto Rico, so that's gonna be a long trip for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So way to kick it off. Again, I wish he was here to thank him. I think that was an amazing, summary of his learnings. And that's really what this meeting is about, is trying to tap into the volunteers that have helped out and kind of help us understand your journey and some of the things that you learned as you're going through this. So it's very open type of dialogue today. And I wanted to have that. So I'm wondering, who do I pass the baton on to as a facilitator? Who do I want to pass it on? Do I want to pass it on to Saba? Do I want to Victoria? Who wants to catch the hot potato? Joe, do you want to catch it? Who wants to catch it first? Or do I want to pose a question to you? So I guess some of the things that he mentioned was motivation, which was really interesting. He got motivated a certain way. So I'm curious from Saba, Victoria, Joe, and any of the other volunteers, like what motivates you to kind of be in this group, or how would you like to share that? Who wants to share?
I can start.
Go ahead.
He reminded me of something, of what brought me to this group. I came to this group when I was furloughed because I had time to start participating. And I was feeling like this big because you're chosen to be furloughed. It's not like the whole group went. Some of us went, some stayed. So I know Rick from way back when I was a QA analyst at Spherion. My son is 19. I won't talk about how long I've known you. So from way, way back. So I followed the group. I was a member of the group, but I wasn't that active. When fate made it so that I had time, it was also the right time in my life. I needed support. This team, this group, these meetups, something you can count on. It's supportive. And I was also enhancing my skills. So just same as Omar said, I talk too much. So Rick goes, I have something for you, Victoria. Why don't you try this? What about that? So I've been part of the teams to help with the classes, the Cal classes, and I'm going to stay with that because I think that's awesome. My mother's a teacher, so I want to continue to build curriculum. And I just love this team. I look forward to it. I hate when I'm away. And even in this last couple of weeks when it's been really trying for me, this team has been very supportive, offline and online. So you definitely have a family when you come here. You definitely have a family. So volunteer, hang out, spread the word, constantly reposting. I'm constantly talking about it. I'm shooting texts to my coworkers because this is where you need to be. And I've also run into other coworkers, people that I like. Umberto has been here and I've worked with him at Bank Atlantic. I also, another person that I had a coaching class with came from Belgium. Was it Belgium? Yes, I think it was Belgium. So yes, we reach far and wide here, but the motivation, the support, you guys showed up right on time.
Love it. Thank you, Victoria. Again, you get me emotional too, because I feel it. Remember Spirion, it was a long time ago. Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. It was
just a couple. My son's only 19. Just a couple.
Yes.
And funny, Victoria, how like Rick has a way of kind of like pulling you in no matter what. And like exactly.
I don't know, is it guilt or what?
Wait, are you saying that Rick is kind of like the mafia? Notice when you think you're out, he pulls you back in?
On a nicer
No, he probably is like, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
I love it, Joe.
And Joe's right, because right side of the offer is build, grow, and reach back and give to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. So my journey with Rick and how we kind of pulled me in is it was actually 2 years ago, January. And I wanted something different. I'm always looking to challenge myself and to me, change is a challenge. And when you actually kind of put yourself out there and really go after something different, that's when you grow. You make mistakes along the way, but every mistake actually gets you to another wonderful milestone. So I decided that I needed to do something different, and I showed up to the PMI Volunteer Day. And we were going around from one station to another to try and figure out, like, okay, you want to volunteer with PMI? What department you want to volunteer in? And I walked by this tall, dark, and handsome guy who was louder than anybody else, may I add. And he was talking to a group of people, and he was talking about, Agile and LACE, the LACE committee that he was initiating with PMI, which is the Lean Agile Center of Excellence. And I'm kind of sitting in the back and I'm kind of like listening. And the more he talked, the more I was kind of like interested, and I kept like coming up to a little closer to the people and a little closer until I got to the very front. And it wasn't long before he actually kind of like roped me into volunteering for that committee. So I did, and we ended up working on the PMC 2019. And it was really fantastic because the way Rick took our journey within the PMI through LACE is we went in, and it was almost like a small PI planning session where you got exposed to so many different areas, and you got to like kind of like work in teams, and this department was working on this and this department was working on that, and of course he, in his fashion, he always throw you in the deep end of the pool. It's like, you're going to be doing the hellos and the introductions and blah, 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 blah. And this is all going to be kind of like all inclusive. So bring in different languages if you can. And anyways, so it was very exciting. It was very, we got involved. We got to see things that were all new to me. And it was like, that's it. I'm hooked. I want more. And soon after that, actually, Rick had a fantastic opportunity, which was an initiative to try and assess the Agile maturity for a company in Tennessee. And I was the lucky one that was selected to go with Coach Art to Tennessee and worked on site for 5 days. And after that, I'm like, that's it. I'm an Agilist through and through in my heart. I'm no longer like completely satisfied even with my job. I want more, and I want to go more into the Agilist role. And I want to go into a company that really does practice the whole Agile thing. And to me, like, that's my dream. I just want to make that jump. So if you're hiring, think of me.
Love it.
So thank you, Rick. And of course, Regina, I've taken a couple of classes with you too, and everything kind of reinforced. Everything challenges you, everything adds to your knowledge. And our coaches are fantastic too, because everybody is willing to help. Whether you're senior or junior, all you have to do is call on somebody and they're right there for you.
Again, I don't know why you guys are, I actually pulled some of the questions, but you guys are mentioning me, which gets me all, emotional. And again, I love the idea of what we did with Saba, where we went out to Dollar General. So that was a really amazing experience to do a survey, and she jumped in. Like, think about her just doing for the first time and jumping into doing a survey of a company and doing whatever it takes. So again, that's within her. So I love the conversation that we're having. We're talking about what's within you, right? What are some things that make you hungry to grow, hungry to get to the next level? And I'm hearing Saba, and I'm hearing Victoria, and I'm hearing their story. Joe, what is your story? Like, what drives you to do more, or to want more in this Agile space?
Rick, let me take you on a sinuous journey.
He had to be the first one. I was so set for it until Omar got me all emotional. Always the first one.
Let me build up to it a little bit, because I want to go back a little bit.
It's okay. I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you the word of next week before Joe gets it.
Oh.
I got you, girl. I got you covered.
There you go.
Wait, that sounds a little conspiratorial there.
Oh, more colluding.
Actually, I was gonna say it's all about collusion.
You would know about colluding, wouldn't you, Sean? You would know about colluding, yeah.
What?
What?
So I'm going to build up to it, because I don't think I can top Omar, because that was pretty good, and what you guys are saying are really good. But I like to share some of my background and then build up to how I tie into transformation experts and how that went. So before I moved to Florida in '98, I was a photographer and I was managing a photography studio. I decided to move to Florida. Didn't know anything. Didn't have a job. You know, I quit my job. I bought a computer, Windows 95 machine. Didn't know anything about computers. Moved to Florida. Here I am looking for a job. I was looking for a photography job. In the meantime, I got intrigued by taking apart the computer, putting it back together, putting new operating systems on, buying another computer, networking them. And so I started learning, getting really technical. And then I started working for FP&L, and I was just doing some IT support. And then I went to a web hosting company, and from there, I really started to grow technically. But then I wanted to also, learn about leadership. And so soon enough, I became a supervisor, and then I was an IT support manager. But I was always looking to continuously improve, right? I always wanting to learn, and I had that mindset, right? So I went into quality, and I was managing about 100 different agents in quality. I was responsible for 3 different call centers. And then our company decided to sell that part of the business. So I figured I better do something, otherwise I'm not gonna have a job. So that's when I got into project management. I knew the manager over there, and she was like, yeah, I would love to have you as a project manager. The only project management experience I had was a class that I took at FAU. So a lot of it I self-learned, right? And then working with our development manager, he introduced me to Agile. And he's like, hey, you're running this project, we're doing this waterfall, but would you be interested in trying this new Agile approach? I'm like, sure. And then so I started studying it, started looking at it, and I'm like, this is great. I love it. So that's kind of how my journey, started in Agile. Got certified. I self-learned. I took a certification. This was BR, which was before Rick. So I got my certification for Professional Scrum Alliance. And then, I went into different companies as a project manager, but I still, in the heart of me, wanted to practice Agile. So I didn't ask anybody. I just slowly started introducing it things, hey, what if we try this thing? What if we try doing some sprints? What's that about? And so I just started learning, talking to people, saying, hey, let's try this. And that's kind of how I got the experience. And that's how you do it, because if someone throws you in and says, okay, do this, you're kind of going to be lost. Certification is not enough. You need some experience to go along with that certification. So that's what I did. And then similar to Victoria, I was affected by the COVID approach. So I wanted while I had some time and I was okay, I didn't necessarily need a new job right away. So I wanted to take some new certifications. And I stumbled upon Rick, and I had my SAFE certification class with Regina. I don't know if you remember back then, 8 months ago, but it was a great class. And that's how I met Omar. And I started coming to these meetups, and it's been great because it's different. It's, you have work and you're dealing with the way that your work defines Agile or defines project management, and you have your certain things that they're trying to accomplish. But here I can be myself, and that allows me to grow. I like Omar was saying, you guys are great mentors. Marcelo, Leon, Rick, Regina have all been great mentors for me. And I try to therefore go and do the same thing and help teach the Saturday classes, and to be, help anyone who's looking for a job if they want to have, because I've been through a lot of different interviews and things like that. So I kind of know the ins and outs. So I just want to help the same way that these guys have helped me. So it's really been rewarding. And like I said, having that continuous mindset. Whenever Marcelo speaks, I learn something new, because he's always got that's something different, a different mindset. Same with Rick. Rick will challenge you, say, hey, Joe, I'm going to throw you in this class. Let's do it. Hey, I may fail. I may not do it right the first time, but the next time, I'm getting a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable. I'm going to fill out those questions. And as I do, I'm growing and I'm helping other people. And that's really at the heart of it. And it's what's great about these meetups and why I keep coming back. So I want to be able to help, and I like learning. So thank you.
And great job, Joe. And back to everyone in this call, you should question yourself. What are you being challenged with? Do you have the ability to experiment? Like, I really would love for you guys to take some chances in some of our sessions. If you're eager to do something in this agile world and you say, Rick, what about this? What about that? There's so many great things that we can be doing. And the way if you heard Joe and you heard the three people, they spoke from the heart, and they're talking about the whole love of helping others. And I think that's the root of what we do here. We're all trying to figure out how to help each other out. Guys, nobody's becoming a millionaire out of this. We're all doing this for reasons that are beyond, a check. So I think thank you, Joe, for sharing that. So I'm curious, outside of the team in that sense, I would like to actually ask Marcelo a question, because now make sure you guys make sure you pay really close attention, because every word he says, you gotta rewind it and actually play it again. And if you play it backwards, you might even hear some more stuff that he's gonna be teaching you. So I'm always terrified to make sure we're recording this. I always put him on the spot, just because we go way back. We go way back. So Marcelo, I'm also interested in understanding your learnings, like what challenges you and what makes you who you are, because you are special to us, and we love the way you do, to help us out. But I'm still curious behind the scenes. Let's get behind the scenes with Marcelo. Marcelo, how would you answer that, sir?
Are you sure you're brave enough?
I'm brave. We're all listening.
Quick, throw him a bear.
Me on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot for a minute, because this is what happens when you put Rick and I in the same virtual room. Most people don't know, but I told Regina in the wings that tomorrow will be 7 years since the first time that Rick and I delivered a talk together at IT Palooza in 2013. Okay. And the funny part is, we'd known each other for a while, but had never collaborated like that before. And we were actually just trying to figure out, okay, when do you say this? When do I say that? And I was just like, it's going to be what it's going to be. And we had 60 people in there, and it went literally to the very last minute, and people were still asking us questions. And here we are 7 years later. So what I would say is, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know where you're going to be. Always be open to it. Never close yourself off. Every day, be open to learning the littlest thing. Stick it in your pocket. Don't forget it there, because at some point it's going to come back, and it's going to be this great big treasure, and you don't know who can benefit from it. Right? So if anything that I've learned out of 2020 is that my family, many of who are here with me now, they are our greatest treasure. Hang on to them. Hang on to them.
Can I piggyback off something you said?
Go ahead, Joe.
Opportunity. There's a lot of opportunities, and I've been victim of not looking at opportunities when they come up, or take advantage of those opportunities. So if an opportunity does come up, think twice before you overlook it. An example is, when I was at Next Era Energy, there was a full-time position that I was trying to get with the different part of the business, and I chose to stay where I was because I was, maybe content. And then COVID hit, and then the opportunity was gone. So don't overlook opportunities, because they only come once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you. So Marcelo, again, we go way back, and the memories are like overwhelming. Like I have so many memories of you. I don't know which one to start with, but yeah, that first session and how we collaborated together. Like we didn't know. Like one of the biggest things of presenting is how do you present with a co-partner, and to make sure that you complement each other. I've had really smart people, but then you couldn't gel. It was just horrible. The way we talked at that session was just like smooth. He had his role, I had my role. We were like complimenting. It was seamless. So I actually still remember that very, very vivid. It's really weird, but it was very, very vivid. But again, thank you, Marcelo, for the work you've done. I'm so proud to have you part of the team. So I'm looking around the room and I'm trying to see who else do I want to actually maybe chime in. Regina, I'm going to put you on the spot. Oh, what's that?
Try Andrea.
I'm gonna get Andrea right after Regina a second. Let me try to get Regina, and then I'll get Andrea a second. So Regina Batista, how are you doing?
I am doing great. That's what happens when we have the cameras turned on, huh? You challenge us.
So Regina, I know you say this story once in a while and you say it in very private, but I would love for you to get, show it to the group here. So what made you go to Agile? Give us your little short story of what made you, even go into that world. I'm just curious.
It's funny because I always say, well, the way that I wrote the story was actually an exercise that I took in my first Agile coaching class, where I had to write my personal journey. And I was writing, oh my goodness, I went just like Joe, I started here, technical support, and oh my goodness, then eventually I became a project manager. And then I got to a point in writing the picture of the journey, sort of like what Marcelo has behind the scenes. And I was like, oh my God, I met an Agile coach that changed my life. And I actually wrote that down. And I'm like, should I say it that way? But it's true. That's my story. I met an Agile coach that changed my life. It changed my life in so many different ways. And I remember walking over to IPC. I used to work at Avmin at the time with my dear friend Floor, who's actually here, signing up for a volunteer PMI. He always hooks people in with the PMI, by the way. That's how we all been hooked in. And then you go from PMI, because we all come from project management backgrounds, to learning about this thing called Agile. And I was like, okay, what is this? And at the time I was a PMO manager at Avmin, going through my pain points. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm going to take a class. I took the class. Like everybody else, I volunteered. And I've always had a passion for training, a lot of passion for training. And I was like, okay, I'm going to volunteer. I started doing the trainings and learning just like you guys, going to the activities, going to the events, putting myself out there. And from there, my career changed. And I made a decision that changed my professional path. I was a PMO manager, hoping to be a director, right? Continuing in that project management path. My thing was about leadership. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go Agile 100%. Forget about the leadership path, forget about direct reports, which had always been like my thing in the title. And I'm like, I'm going to change it. If I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. And it was one of those things that I jumped in. Now, we talk about opportunities. You guys use that word. Always internally, I've jumped into things and I've been very fortunate and grateful to God because I've had opportunities come my way that perhaps I was not 100% ready for. And my theory was always like, okay, if I'm 60 to 70, maybe I'll stop at 70%, experience enough to get that job. I don't have to be 100% because I'll figure out the 25% when I get that job because I'm hardworking enough and I can figure it out, right? But when I jumped into that Agile role, I had done some training. I had tried converting my existing PMO, which was not successful, right? Because the company that I was working for didn't even want to hear the word Agile. And I struggled a lot, but I started getting my hands dirty and training and doing workshops and trying to do some projects into Agile, but my leadership wanted nothing to do with it. So I jumped into an Agile coaching position. And Mr. Syed was also with me at FPNL. And I'll be honest with you, I was very scared. I walked into a group of Agile coaches that had 20 years of experience. 20 years of experience. I was very fortunate, but I was super scared. My biggest lesson in Agile, which I wish I would have known 20 years ago in my career. I did not know this. My biggest lesson in Agile is it's okay to fail. I did not know this because we were always so afraid to fail when we were younger, when we started out in our professions. And the cultures that we worked for, it was a bad word. And professionally, that was like, you know, I would never admit to my failures professionally. I think those who know me one-on-one, who worked under me, know that somehow they always tell me, but you were always a little Agile, Regina, because of my personality and my mindset, right? So I have gotten that feedback, but I was always so afraid, and I lived afraid in my profession, even though I was successful. And that internal fear I never shared with anybody, and I was never able to be vulnerable enough. Now, for me, that's my biggest lesson learned in Agile. It's okay to fail. I have failed a million times, and I am so grateful for my failures because that's the only way that I've learned. And that's the biggest thing for you guys. You know, a lot of you that you're like, Saba, like, oh my God, maybe I didn't have this experience. In our one-on-one with Saba, I looked at your resume and I'm like, you see this, you see this, you see this. You have done these things. It's just you called it something different, right? And just the wanting to learn and that continuous improvement, that mindset, like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Now, after a year at FPNL, I was so scared at the beginning. A year after, I was bored. I was bored. I was like, okay, been there, done that. What's next? You know, I challenged myself. I took the risk. I was scared shitless. Sorry for the word, but I had great mentors and I took the opportunity and I jumped in. And it's okay to fail. And now I've continued and I've moved on to other things and I'm so grateful. And this group, you guys have been awesome. It's okay to fail, guys, but you're here, you're learning every day, and I'm very, very proud of each and every one of you. I did want to share that personal story because that's my biggest personal lesson in Agile. So I don't know if I've ever shared that with you guys, but thank you. You guys mean the world to us, and we're here to help you and support you. And this is like a family. It really is. You guys are like a family. So that's it, Rick.
Great job, Regina. Again, I see everybody with teary eyes here. So I don't know where this is leading, guys. I hope we're not. I know we're far away. We can't hold hands or anything like that. But Regina, again, understand that you met an Agile coach, but the Agile coach met you too. Okay, so you've changed my life too. So I'm very, very happy and proud that. So.
All right, somebody give me a tissue.
I love that story.
You guys didn't know that was who he was talking about. The entire time I'm like, okay.
It was you, Marcelo. It was you. God.
I remember being nearby.
Yeah, you were close. You were close. You would have been.
I remember being a wingman at one point.
I was talking about Marcelo this whole time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God.
Remember being a wingman.
That's okay. That's okay. As long as somebody helped. So again, and like we say often as coaches, we are truly learning a lot ourselves. So every time we're talking to you and we're testing things out, there's a hypothesis going through our mind too. We're trying to figure it out. So awesome. So Neilu, you said to ask
Andrea.
who else do we want to talk to?
Andrea Pratt. Yes.
Andrea, how you doing, young lady? There's that video. Talk to us. Tell me, again, from a learning perspective. Again, we're all trying to find the answers of how each individual people learn and what their roadmap looks like. So maybe you could share a little bit of your journey and where you're at. Would you like to do that?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm a little bit winded. I just drove home from work. I got called in today. And so as everyone was talking, I was on the highway. But I didn't want to miss this meetup, as I try not to miss any meetups because it's always a valuable experience for me. But my journey started with transformation experts and the Agile movement that's going on in South Florida on June 20th of this year. I actually started the year unemployed. I decided to quit my job after 21 years. I didn't return to work in January. And so I just felt that I needed to pivot. I wasn't being challenged enough. And I felt like I had reached the ceiling. And so I decided I just was going to quit. You know, it was like, you can't go any further. No one wanted to hire me because I educated myself out of the job market. Apparently, I was told that. And so someone just advised me that I needed to be my own boss. And so I took that advice to heart and I started my own company. And I've been working on that piece ever since. But before I got to the whole company concept, I tried being a housewife for a minute. That became boring very quick. So I'm not the laundry, cooking, cleaning, babysitting wife. So I'm the outgoing person, and I like to be my own boss and have my own money. And so that worked for a few months. And I also binge watched The Walking Dead for a while. So while I was debating what my next move was going to be, I was binge watching The Walking Dead. Not proud of that, but that's part of my journey, I guess.
Nice.
And so Joe, don't agree with that part.
No, I like that. It's a good show. That's all.
And so after I got over the whole Walking Dead, I had to shake myself because I'm like, why are you excited to get up and watch this crap every day? I looked forward to it and I said, this can't be right. This is not you. You're a continuous learner. You love to challenge yourself and you need to find something that's going to advance you personally and professionally. So I said, well, why don't you try to take the PMP exam? And so I was like, okay, well, I'll study for that. And so through studying for the PMP exam, I found the meetups through PMI. And so when I joined my first meetup on June 20th, like, you know, everyone said, I got hooked. You know, I felt the community, I felt the family, I felt that this was somewhere where people are genuine. You know, the friendships are real. They actually care. If you don't make the meeting, they want to know what's going on. Have you heard from this person? So you feel as though you have a sense of belonging. And so I appreciate everyone for extending that, not only courtesy, but that sense of belonging to me. Because, you know, I'm from the Bahamas. And normally when you educate yourself too much, you can't function in the government sector because you close down a whole department and they'll just have you. so that's kind of rough. You know, you have a department of 20 people, but you come in and you show them that, hey, I'm so efficient and I can get this done. And what's going to take you 5 days to process, I'm going to do that in an hour. So it's challenging. So I realized that the only place for me is to be my own boss. And I know that my journey with transformation experts in the Agile community is going to further advance the ideas that I have, because there's a lot. And, you know, I'm planning to bring the whole Agile movement to the whole Caribbean region, starting with the Bahamas. And so I'm excited about that prospect. I feel as though I have transformation experts' full support. And I know that's something that we're going to be talking about more in the near future. And I hope that everyone will be on board and let's take this Agile movement to the world.
Yeah, more than help you to any help in the Bahamas you need, just let me know.
Yeah, I was totally going to say I'm on my way. Just say when.
Yep.
Bring my scuba gear.
Yes. Margaritas by the pool.
Like that.
Yeah.
Bahama Mamas, conch salad.
Wait, what?
Here we come.
Margar what?
Margarita.
No, for Marcelo, it's Kalik. We have
Squirrel.
Kalik bear.
Thank you.
Yes, the Kalik.
Thank you. Yeah.
Love it. So again, another amazing story. Thank you for sharing. So excited how we're going to expand to different areas. And I think we have a map, Marcelo. Sooner or later, we got to write down this map where everyone has participated, all the different cities, all the different areas of the world. And we need to show you that map. There's people from all over the world, that have come in here and shared and participated. So we're making a big difference. So who else do I want to talk to see what they
hat?
Who?
With the hat.
The guy with the hat. I'm scared with the guy with the hat because cat in the hat, that whole ordeal. So Art, what we were doing earlier, just so you understand, and I caught you a little early, coming in a little late there, just so you know. But the discussion that we're having right now is kind of like understanding, what motivates us. And everyone has shared their story and everyone has walked through a little bit. We're looking for personal stories behind the scenes. Like, you went into this world of Agile. How'd you get there? What was your motivation to move on? We're just looking for that. Can you give us some insight of, how you got started and all that stuff?
Oh God.
I know we're way back there. A short, we don't want to.
Let's see. I was born in a log cabin.
Oh, nice.
Not that far.
Not that far back, right?
Yeah.
Your involvement with the Agile community.
Mom pushed me out of the crib when he was born.
So let's come back. Like, maybe when you started, like the teamwork that we've been doing here with the work and the weekends and all that. Maybe what motivates you to come in every Saturday to these exercises?
All right. So let's talk about, what do I like about Agile? Right? We learn all of this stuff. We get all of these certifications. We take all of these courses and I learn all of these techniques and these strategies and these tools and all of these things. And at work, I tell people I like to go to retrospectives. I can skip all the rest of the meetings. I just want to go to meet the team at the retrospectives and talk to everybody and get them to talk to each other. And then my goal is to make everybody part of the same family and to understand that they're just one family. The team is a family, right? They're there to get the job done. I've been doing meetings with some of the teams that I coach on the new Scrum Guide. And the thing that I focus on is the fact that they said the product owner and the Scrum Master are now parts of the team. Used to be, you got to be a developer. You're a developer, you can't be on a Scrum team. You got to be on an Agile team, right? Now, oh, you can be on the team. So now the message is, hey, the Scrum Master and product owner are part of the team, right? They're all in it together. Their job is to deliver something, do something good. Saturday morning, it's the same thing, right? It's all part of a team. We work together. We get to talk to each other. If I'm lucky, I get to help somebody, and that makes me happy.
So I've been doing this all wrong. I thought the product owner and the Scrum Master were part of the team all along.
I was just typing that. Right? I was taught that we were all one team.
Yeah. They are, but the Scrum Guide said they weren't.
That's
so
that's one thing about the Agile journey, that it just whatever happens in your organization, you make it yours.
Right. Yeah. So companies say, you know what, we're going to do a maturity assessment, but the Scrum Master doesn't participate. The product owner doesn't get to participate. We just want it from the team. Mm-hmm. But the team is the Scrum Master and the product owner. How the heck do you do this without them?
Right.
So,
a lot of time the team looks to us as Scrum Masters and product owners for direction, for insight, for input, because we bring experience to the table sometimes.
Yeah. Right. That was the thing. It was changed to clarify. Because technically, they always were part of the team. Okay? They always were part of the team. The thing is that the way it was described in the guide made it feel as though there was a team within the team. Okay? So they removed the word to remove that distinction, okay? Because the fact is, as Art clearly pointed out, it made an us and them, okay? And it never was intended to be an us and them. It tended to be a we thing.
Yeah.
It's a we thing.
So what you're saying is we were doing it right. They just wrote it up wrong.
Well, yeah. And then, then you had Mick consultancies that tried to do this to you.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay. Because the way Rick and I always approach it, he goes, hey, man, we're all in this together.
Exactly.
Right, Bob?
Yeah.
He's sitting there quiet. He's thinking nobody's going to call on him. Okay. But he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let's get to
exactly what I'm
Bob.
talking
Now.
about.
Let's get to Bob. Again, normally Bob closes out the show. So we got Bob.
Oh, you're keeping him as the ringer. Okay, I get it.
Keep him there just in case once he starts going, he starts warming up. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. So Bob, did you just turn off your camera? Is that what you did? It's like, don't bother me?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Going on your bike ride? All right, so we lost Bob. Let's see if he comes back. Oh, he got back. So Bob, I'm also interested in your Agile journey, right? Like you've gone through a lot of different companies, and then when you met Agile, how did you get in there? What were some of the learnings, moving into that world? Can you share a little bit?
Yeah, actually, I haven't been with a lot of companies. As you, if anybody should know, I don't like change a lot, hardly at all. I don't change much. I don't change a lot. I really have been with 3 companies. So yeah, I don't change much. And so the second to last company I was with was Burger King. It was Waterfall. I was a quality assurance analyst. I was a quality assurance analyst. And one of my last, I guess, tasks, jobs, it was really a job, was to review the specifications, the requirement specification for, I think it was an inventory system or something. It was like 35 or 50 pages, and I would read it, and my eyes would shut, and then read it, and then I'd get, well, page 15 doesn't seem right, and then go on page 20. Well, that contradicts what was said on page 15, and then page 23 contradicts what was page on 7, and it was just like I never want to go to it. Fortunately, I was accepted at IPC, which is an Agile shop, as a quality assurance analyst, and I was on an awesome team. And I worked myself out of a quality assurance job because I convinced everybody on the team that everybody was responsible for quality. So I had no job. I would just do like exploratory testing, and they had a Scrum Master position came up, and I said, well, I'd like to try it. And I think Rick and I went to Marcelo's Scrum Master class together, if I remember correctly. And I don't remember too much, but I remember Marcelo was the teacher. So you all have him to blame for me being part of this. So. And I was hooked. I am just a devotee of Agile in my personal life and everything. And the more I learn, the more I embrace it. And again, because you're embracing values and principles, and you're making your practices adhere to those values and principles. And if they don't, you have to ask yourself, do the principles still apply? Do I still adhere to the values? And if those are yes, I have to make sure my practices adhere to those, or I'm a hypocrite. And one thing I like is my integrity. So it helps me keep honest with myself and honest with the people I work with. And I am blessed to be on the journey I'm at. And I hope I never see a requirements document again more than 5 pages. There is still a requirement for them. There's a certain place for them, but not 35 to 50 pages as far as I'm concerned. So that in a nutshell, that's it.
And Bob, what's our favorite saying, Bob?
Too blessed to be stressed.
There you go. So again, Bob, again, we go way back as well. But I always say that the only high performing team I've ever seen, and I know this is sad, the only one high performing team that I've ever seen was a team that Bob was on. And it was that amazing to me to actually see them in action. I have not been able, for all the years of me coaching, I have not been able to see that ever again. I've not
seen that. It takes a lot of work. And it takes the 5 dysfunctions. You have to embrace the top 3 at least. The bottom 3: the trust, fear of conflict, accountability, attention to results. That's how you do it. But it takes work, and it takes uncomfortable situations to start with. You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be vulnerable. Some people don't want to be vulnerable, so yeah. But I was blessed to be part of that team, and I learned so much just by seeing it actually work. So, and we had a great. I mean, we had our Scrum Master Agile Coach Guild, which we did a lot of good things. We did a lot of good things there. It was just awesome. I learned so much there. So I've been blessed in that regards too. So, and I'm blessed to be part of this group too. So anything I can do to help, just ask.
Awesome. So thank you, Bob. So again, I think great conversation. I know that maybe it wasn't back and forth as much. I know there's probably a lot of other people that wants to chime in. And maybe this is maybe at the end of maybe the next few minutes, we can give some other people opportunities. But I do want to take a snapshot picture first. So if you can just do me a favor, just turn on your cameras, just so that we can get a quick snapshot so that Nelu can do her magic behind the scenes. And this is the whole idea of why we're here. I think today was to me, was actually the most emotional session I've ever had in our meetups. Like, these were a lot of very personal conversations that we had today that was really, really amazing for me, for my personal. So knowing that this is very personal to me, so any kind of symbol that you want to show of something that was personal to you, you can go ahead and do it. We're gonna just take a quick snapshot of that. So just show that, and then Godwin, your light there. I would love to see a little bit more light there, young man, just so you know. And Joe, way to bring the personal Snoopy into the equation here. That's what I'm talking about. You don't have a Snoopy next to you. What good are you? You know what's going on. Godwin, you can always do the truth thing, because I still want to make sure I remember that. That's going to be memorable for a long time. I'm going to hit you on that one for a long time. Okay, so are we ready for the snapshot? Come on, let's get some videos. Bill, you're a little in the dark there. You're looking good, but you're in the dark a little bit, just so you know.
I think we had somebody with a Lysol spray.
Yeah, Carlos.
Oh my God.
Andre has Victoria in the picture.
Okay, so I'm about to get the snapshot. Regina, where are you in the picture? Okay. Oh, I love the picture, Terry. Nice. All right, so I got to get something emotional here. I'm looking for something emotional here. I'm gonna have to bring my Scrum teddy bear here to make sure that they cheer up the thing. Okay, this is my emotional thing here. All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Where's did Syed leave us? I would have gone.
Yes, he left.
To get him a humbug. All right, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I took the snapshot.
Wow, look at the twins on Andrea's picture.
I know, right? Or mini me. That's Victoria.
No, Rick, I wanted to mention something actually. Every time that we are with this group, aside from like learning about Agile, every time we interact with somebody, I walk away learning something, whether it's a coach or a peer or whatever. And I think as long as your ears are open, you'll be surprised what you take away. And I think part of the reason why I keep showing up to these meetings is like there's so much aside from the basics, like the team dynamics, the wonderful coaches and peers, even like people that just show up for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what I walk away. It always enriches my soul.
Yep.
And I'm very grateful, and I'll be here until you kick me out.
I second that.
Love that, Saba. I love that saying.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
Saba.
I'm still wondering why Rick hasn't kicked me out yet, but.
Well, we tried one day when you weren't here, but
Oh,
just
keep
kidding.
coming back.
We didn't block you, you know.
You gotta change the link.
We changed the URL and somehow you broke it. What is going on? So I guess we can open some, maybe, because again, the people that have talked a lot, please let's hold back a second just to see maybe if we want to listen to anyone else.
Yeah.
Terry, I see you smiling. It was nice to see the picture. But anybody else wants to chime in? Again, it's all about how you're learning, you know, how you're growing. Terry, you want to say something? Anything? I know.
Sure.
Young lady.
Sure. Al introduced me to this group a couple weeks ago. I can't remember when, it's already been a blur, but from the first time and not even ever meeting any of you in person, I was hooked and I came back, right? I went to the website to see the next weekly meeting, right, on the Saturday and said, "Ooh, there's a Wednesday meeting. Wait a second, there's a Wednesday call. I can do this more." And I'm currently out of work, and this is keeping me in touch, right? Listening and sharing with like-minded people who understand, and after tonight's conversation, have a lot of the same experiences is amazingly valuable, and it helps just kind of keep me on track. And I woke up this morning thinking, oh my God, did I miss a meeting last night on the volunteering thing? Wait a second, there was nothing in my calendar. It's like that kind of pull. And I haven't even been in it that long. So I just want to thank you, all of you guys, because it's the energy that you all give off that does that. And I appreciate it.
Well, you fit right in, Terry. You fit right in.
Yeah. We're glad to have
Terry,
you.
it's not out of a job, it's occupationally liberated. So your
another famous Bob quote.
Mindset. You've been baptized now.
Hey, Bob, I
Great.
like that you're using that more and more. That's so appropriate for you.
You're the one who came up with it, so I'm just living up to it.
But it's perfect for you, definitely.
All right, guys, let me touch on a few more people. Ray, you're raising your hand. Talk to us, sir.
Yeah, I'm obviously kind of new at the Agile theory, I guess you'd say, but I really enjoy coming to the meetings because it shows how everyone collaborates with each other and how they're trying to help each other, and how we're, and that seems to be really one of the underlying principles I'm deriving from these meetings, is that, that's really what it seems we're trying to do, is to learn from each other and grow from each other. And I find it refreshing too, as Terry kind of mentioned there. I think that, you kind of get to interact with people, and that is a good thing. Sometimes we don't get that as much anymore with the COVID thing, that we get to share with each other and learn from each other. So to me, that's my perception of really one of the biggest benefits of the methodology, and really the people in the group, and how much they want to share with each other.
Love it, Ray. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking around. Bill, I don't know. I don't see your hands up, so I can't tell whether you want to say anything, but I'm going to assume Bill wants to say something. How about that?
Thanks for volunteering me, Rick. I appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for. I told you I challenge people, right? You got that from all the conversation, right? You heard that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not a problem. I did put together some notes in anticipation of this, but I'll keep it a lot briefer. I've got quite a bit of education in IT. I've got an undergrad in IT. I've got a master's in IT. I've got an MBA. Started on computers. I won't even say when, but it was on the P11s. If anybody remembers those. Been on the mainframe, DOS. I even worked on DOS 1.25. Been developer, COBOL, BASIC, .NET, Java, EasyTree, bunch of JCL, bunch of other languages. I've worked my way through project manager and even a resource manager. But most of my project management experience is much more on the waterfall side. And there's a lot of variations of waterfall, which people don't realize it's not just one. I can't remember how many I worked on, but open unified process, rational unified process, joint application development, and there's a bunch of other ones.
Ooh, ouch.
Did I
Felt
just
the hair on the back of my neck go up there, Bill.
I scared somebody on that one, huh? And when you think about the way we're doing things now with Agile, it is quite scary. And even in Agile, though, part of the challenge is, so there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of differences too, but they all have to go through the process of doing the analysis, the design, the development, the testing, and the implementation. It's how all those things are done change quite a bit. And even with Agile, going to these sessions, what's really helped me understand a lot of Agile is that there's a lot of different types of Agile, and there are a lot of variations, whether it's Kanban, adaptive software, Agile unified process, extreme programming, lean, rapid application development, Scrum. And there's no, I don't want to say there's no wrong way of doing it, but there's a lot of right ways of doing it. And coming to these sessions, meeting people, having these conversations has really brought me around, because I was quite skeptical, but I got involved because everyone was talking about Agile. So I found this group online. I don't even remember when. Rick, I remember I think my first meeting was at IPC in person, long before COVID. And initially I had a hard time getting convinced that there's a way to do it, because some of the training has always been about management and leadership, and how do we convince them that Agile is the right way of doing it. But I learned that it's not my job to convince them necessarily. It's their job to convince themselves, just like we're working ourselves through this process, and we're learning our way. Leadership in a company has to learn their way too, and learn that this is the right way. But this team and talking with everybody has been a wonderful experience. And I want to thank each and every one of you out there that's really helped me through some of this, and getting me to be more of an Agilist and embracing the methodology. So thank you.
Woo, all right, Bill.
Happy to have you,
awesome.
Bill.
Thank you.
All right, so he's in the dark there talking to us. So it would have been nice to turn your video on, Bill, but just so you know, I'm going to hold you accountable. But all right, anyone else that wants to talk? And I know there's some other people there, but I don't want to like drag them into the conversation, because that's not what I do, right?
That is what
I want to make sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I remember being dragged on the chair.
Oh yeah, I've been
Not
dragged.
for nothing, but for the record, Godwin wins tonight.
Yeah, he did. He was the first one.
The toothache? The toothache?
I thought it was Saba.
No, when I went out there, he was the first one.
I wasn't even logged in.
Oh. I'm gonna go.
What about one of the new people?
Okay.
One of the
I can't believe you guys. You guys got to tell us when we can like it, because that happens.
No, you have to pay attention.
Unacceptable, guys. Unacceptable. So do me a favor, please. Everyone click on the link. It's on the chat. Just like it, share it, at least pass it on. We always say that it's not hard to just invite one person into this group. Just go out there and say, hey, one friend, to say, hey, come over here. You might want to, enjoy this kind of conversation. We are not just helping you in this meeting. Do not think that's the only part of what we do. You have the ability to reach us. Each of these coaches are willing to help you and try to figure out how we can help you in your career, in your life, and expand your horizon, right? So reach out to us. We have emails. You have the whole team here to support you. You have the channel, the forum that we have. Let's make sure we use that. Carlos, I'm gonna say hi to you a second. So you listened to all these people speaking today. What was your, and you're mute, just so you know, what was your opinion of this session today? Curious from your side.
To me, I think it's fantastic that people can describe their entire journey of their career, of their life, and how they reached to this point, right? So for me, I've been an Agilist for a very long time. I started a consulting independent since 2008, but I've always broke the rules. I wanted to tell you that I kept on listening to everybody talk about how they were following a process methodology, that leadership had given them direction, that somebody had to read an entire document, and what's happening is that people weren't delivering fast, right? So I was the guy who always broke the rule. I worked for a company called TrackPhone. I don't think you might all know that. I worked for Pedro Domit. I worked for Jim Zimmerman. I worked for all those guys, and I broke a lot of rules there. And they liked it, and it was so many years ago, prior to their CEO passing away, and I have a really good relationship.
Hold on, they're trying to
Still
take a
there.
picture.
So
He was
let me
making fun of you.
tell you, I've always broken the rules, and I always wanted to deliver. I always wanted to make the customer happy. I was always happy when customer service or the service center was happy, and sales, they were happy at the delivery of something, of an incremental deliverable, right? So let me give you a tip of one big company that I know is super agile, and that's Amazon, right? And so Amazon, they have compute power. You know, Bill, you're a technologist. So Microsoft, you know, second in the world of cloud technology. They've only been doing cloud for like almost like 10 to 15 years. And Amazon has generated over $48 billion since then. And the market right now in IT, if anybody else is all in IT, in the IT world, only 4% of their IT spend, global spend. It's amazing. Like IT's global spend is only 4%. And that 4% is for cloud technology. And that's for delivering agility, delivering solutions faster so that companies can make money. So I'd be on the lookout for those types of things. You know, Amazon is doing keynote addresses. They're delivering new products, new solutions. Microsoft, even Citrix, local here, they're doing a lot of stuff, webinars. There's so many webinars of how they're delivering faster. And that's what customers are going to want. They're going to want things with agility. They want things faster. So, I mean, out of all this that I've learned, you know, I love the emotion. I love the passion, and I want to contribute. I did my product owner, product manager SAFE. I passed that. I've also passed the Azure fundamentals for cloud technology, also Amazon architecture, that kind of thing. But, you know, look into those different things, because that's where everything is going. A lot of these companies are going to be spending their IT budgets and moving their workloads out of the data center and saving money and moving it to the cloud. So I hope that helps people, because that's where I am. I'm obsessed, and I don't want to feel like I'm like crazy on the phone, but I am obsessed with learning and doing all these types of things with agility.
So he's a rule breaker. He's obsessed. You know, be careful, guys. Breaking the rules. I love it. Thank you, Carlos, for sharing that. That was really, really awesome. Mike, I want to hit you, the last person I want to hit on this list here. Let me see, what am I going to ask Mike? Because Mike, again, I go far, way back on Mike. I would love to also hear your story about when did that change happen to you? When you looked at Agile, when did you feel like, okay, this works for me?
Yep. So I came in from I was an infrastructure engineer. In my previous role, I was actually an IT manager before I got to IPC. I get to IPC in 2011, and I'm in the infrastructure team. And there I walk into Rick and several of Bob Sarnak was around back then too. But Rick had all of these stickies everywhere. And I remember one of my first days being there and just kind of thinking, what is going on here? A Kanban? What is it? Retros? What, we trust each other? What is this? I mean, it was just so foreign to me. So as I started to get into the role and started to acclimate, and our team was being formed, and really Agile at IPC was being brought along on the journey. I got to a point where I kind of looked around after a few months, and we were really nailing every one of our deadlines. Everything was on point. We got to a point with that team, if you remember, Rick, that we almost didn't have to talk to each other. We knew what we were doing. We knew what the other guy. We were just in sync. It was like a well-oiled machine. So we went for a couple of years, maturing our processes, maturing and getting real with our retros, the way that we would approach problems, the way that we would gather requirements changed, and we just started to really, I could really see that we were gelling well with the business. So an opportunity came up a couple of years, fast forwarding a couple of years later, where I was able to become certified as a product owner and as a Scrum Master through Rick. And an opportunity came up for one of the teams that we worked on to become a product owner, and I was able to become a product owner. I actually had a Scrum Master who's also on this call, Mr. Sarnak, who also was really instrumental in bringing along and showing me a lot of the fundamentals of Scrum and working with a newly formed team, because our team was brand new from scratch. And just very long story short, in the 5 years that I was in that role, and going through SAFe, which was another piece to this that was also introduced 1 or 2 years later, it just really showed me that Agile and business agility and how we work with the business just really, it just works. You're able to change. You're able to get to points where you can try things. They may not work out. We try, fail fast. We try again. And so anyway, that was very quickly, because I know we're at the end here. That was basically my experience, and love it.
Love it, Mike. And I want to end it with one little thing that happened to me at IPC that was very, very personal. And Mike had something to do with it. And now I'm ready to get him back to this. So they started wanting to play a joke on the Kanban master. I was actually the Kanban master, if you want to call it a name, whatever, the coach, whatnot. And the team decided to play a little game on me. And because, I was fanatic about Agile. And they said, hey, there's a new Agile methodology called Jabberwocking or something.
Jabberwocky.
Jabberwocky or whatever. So they played this game every day in the stand-up meeting. They would mention, Rick, are you making progress on this Jabberwocking new methodology? It's really awesome and all that. And I'm here starting to get a little fed up with this. So I paired up with the CIO and also the director at that time and said, you know what? The next time in the meeting, I'm just going to run out of the meeting and say something like, I met with the CIO. He wants to talk about this Jabberwocking that the team is asking, and get really upset because the team is going to whatever, So I played that joke on them. I went into the meeting. I said, look, the CIO is looking for this, blah, 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 blah. And then when one of the people said, no, that's not true, Rick, what did you do? I ran and said, like, if I was really upset, I ran out of the room and dashed. They all panicked. They're all like, what happened with Rick? We set him up, oh my God, what did you do? And they were all trying to reach the CIO, and the CIO was on my side. So he was playing the joke too, and the director was playing some jokes. So we got him back. So be careful with harassing the Scrum Master, because they'll get you back, all right? So again, thank you guys for joining us today. I greatly appreciate it. This is family, so have an awesome night. And I'll see you guys hopefully on Saturday.
So Rick, what I'm hearing is payback is Agile.